Engaged and Inspired podcast.
A simple warning. We know many of you are planning a wedding right now. We may be tempted to drop an F-bomb or other descriptive words. Keep this in mind if you have small children in the room or are on a Zoom call. You've been warned.
Be Engaged and Inspired podcast.
Let's be honest, planning a wedding is tricky. And at Be Engaged and Inspired, we'll share our knowledge to help you navigate these tricky waters and leaving you feeling inspired.
Be Engaged and Inspired podcast is sponsored by EasyEventPlanning.com, who make planning any event fast and easy. EasyEventPlanning.com. And now your hosts, Kia and DJ Sam.
Welcome to the Be Engaged and Inspired, the wedding podcast that should be mandated for every couple. In fact, Apple has a new app coming out that as soon as you plan your wedding, our podcast pops up.
This may or may not be a true fact. I'm Kia from Engage, Connecticut. I'm clearly here with Delusional Sam from...
And this is absolutely not true. DJ Sam from Atmosphere Productions. Just a nice way to enter the podcast.
Sure, it's Wedding Tip Wednesday time.
Wedding Tip Wednesday is here, and we want you to join us on the Be Engaged and Inspired Wedding Podcast Facebook group page. Go there because every Wednesday we have a new one.
Yep.
Wedding Tip Wednesday is brought to you by Emerge Cosmetics. Are you ready to emerge? A new line of luxurious lipsticks and lip glosses created with the intention of empowerment and coming into who you truly are. Strong, beautiful, and confident. Use the Be Engaged and Inspired Wedding Podcast coupon code EBI10 at shopemergecosmetics.com for an instant 10% discount. That's coupon code EBI10 for 10% discount at shopemergecosmetics.com. Emerge as the true you.
Dollar Tree is the nation's #1 destination for value shopping. All of their stores are well lit and crammed with all kinds of hidden treasures. Dollar Tree offers a plethora of merchandise that includes many national and regionally trusted brands. It doesn't matter if you're looking for housewares, dinnerware, candy, snacks, stationery, or holiday needs. You're going to find it at Dollar Tree. You can shop at your hometown store or shop online for exclusive offers, manufacturer closeouts, watch videos, and join their Value Seekers Club. On top of all that, you can have your order shipped for free directly to your local store. To visit DollarTree.com, click on the link in the show notes to let them know we sent you. Doing so helps keep our podcast going. Dollar Tree.
Help us out. Make a donation now to help support this podcast. Please go to our anchor.fm profile, click Support This Podcast at the top of the page, or use the link in the show notes of this episode, or go to the Atmosphere Productions business profile on Venmo. Thank you for making a donation and helping support this podcast.
Today's Wedding Tip Wednesday is wear safe and comfortable shoes. This is for your engagement shoot. Wear shoes that you can walk safely and comfortably in. The scenery may look beautiful, but wearing stilettos could be dangerous on rocky paths or sandy beaches. Safety first. Carry them. It looks great in the shot.
It does look great in the shot. And also, you never know if you're in a park, you might be like, oh, we're going to stay on the pass. But there might be something that you want to go try. And if you can't walk there, it's not happening.
Imagine going through the bushes with high heels.
I have done that.
Or grass.
I've done that too.
Don't forget to use the Be Engaged and Inspired Wedding Podcast coupon code EBI10 at shopemergecosmetics.com for an instant 10% discount. That's 10% discounts. Code EBI10 for 10% discount at Shop Emerge Cosmetics. Emerge as the true you.
It's a great local company.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to update a topic that we talk about every year around this time.
Yes, yes.
The weather has changed again.
It's the most wonderful time.
I'm a little grinchy, I guess. Anyways, this is talking about holiday weddings.
Yeah, how to prepare for them, what you should know, what you should do, what you shouldn't do.
And what you should expect from your guests.
Oh, yes, this is true.
So holiday weddings last year, because of COVID, were a little strange because we sort of went way back in mandates.
Yes.
And so people couldn't have all of these big, huge gatherings.
Yes.
This year, with people being vaccinated and things having changed, there's a little bit more freedom.
And people with not being vaccinated, we're still having them.
Yes, we're still having them, and there's people wearing masks, and it depends, and obviously social distancing.
Yes, all that stuff.
All of that stuff still pertains. Like, you should pay attention to it. You should know. But now, as you're moving into this holiday season, let's start off with if you're a guest going.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's just start this part.
Yeah.
If you are a guest who's traveling, you should know what your airline's policies, restrictions, and all of that is.
Yes.
You and you should probably check it like all the way to the week of.
Yes, a few months back, Southwest had a terrible time with their computers and stuff shutting down and people couldn't get on planes. You don't want that to happen to you, especially during the holidays.
Now, in holiday season, there's just so many people traveling, basically from Thanksgiving until like right after New Year.
Yep.
It's a lot of people traveling.
Yep.
And if you're planning on attending a family wedding or an event type of thing, some airlines are requiring that you wear masks the entire time. Some airlines are requiring that you show proof of vaccination. Some states that you go into, you need to have proof of vaccination to even go into a restaurant.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Some cities are doing that, yeah.
What I always recommend to everybody now is, for one, take a picture of your vaccination card.
Good move.
And carry your card on you. But
Yep.
this way, just in case. Some places I know have sold out. They can't even do rapid testing anymore. Like CVS,
Really?
yeah. I had a wedding back in the fall where one of the guests, who was a family member, they'd had their shots and done everything, but they weren't feeling good. And it took them 5 CVSs before they found a rapid test, because a lot of these rapid test places don't exist anymore.
That's right.
So you can't rely on
Yeah.
that. And if you have to go get one of them, and some places aren't even allowing, like, that's still not good enough.
Yeah, but you still have, I don't want to belabor the point, but you still have to go online, especially the CVS's, to book those. You can't just,
Well, now they have at-home ones.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But even those are sometimes hard to find.
Yeah.
And some places, like especially like in the state of New York, which is one of our neighbors, they have apps that you have to like fill in, show,
Yeah,
because they have different restrictions. And each state has different restrictions.
So you have to be aware of all of that stuff.
And take the time to do it so that you're not caught off guard, that you didn't just pay for this very expensive airline ticket and you get to wherever this wedding is and then you're missing something and you can't take part, because that would be horrible.
Absolutely.
And
good
you've been
point.
invited, and obviously you're being invited. You're important to these people. Just keep it in mind. And it's definitely, somebody's wedding is not the place to have a political conversation.
No, absolutely. Just like this podcast, we stay away from that.
Yes. And so when you're going, no matter how you feel about it, take a deep breath. Don't breathe it out on anybody else, and just be there to enjoy the day.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really, really key important.
Also, you're speaking about airlines. If you're trying to rent a car as well, make sure you plan ahead of that, because rental cars are getting
They're so hard
up.
to get.
Yep.
Because some people are choosing to do rental cars and drive instead of going through airports still.
Yep.
I know even over the summer, we struggled to get a U-Haul for an event that we had to bring more stuff than we usually do, because people were moving to different states, moving to different areas.
Yep.
Some people were renting U-Hauls because they couldn't rent cars.
I was going to say that. Yeah, it's actually cheaper if you rent a U-Haul van than it is to rent a car. How stupid is that?
It's totally stupid. I'm waiting for like Home Depot and Lowe's to be like, no, you are not allowed to drive our little pickup trucks to like 4 states over. But once again, those are things to think about. And then think about your hotel situations or your lodging situations. If you're going with Airbnb and VRBO, Airbnb last year got a lot of flack because they canceled everybody who, like, they turned it off so that Airbnbs couldn't do events, which threw some people off, and they were
did it at the
canceled.
last minute too.
Yep.
They didn't do it. They didn't give you any warning.
There was no grandfather clause. It was like, we are done. You can't have events. And that has slowly been changing, but still, it's always good to check in with them. Check in with the hotels, see what their policy is. I still am like a big, huge person who says, if I'm doing a block of rooms, can I have all of my guests on the same floor?
Yeah.
I know that that can't always happen.
Yep.
But you can ask for the majority of your guests
Great idea.
to be on the same floor, because it means that they're in the elevators to get like. It's just one of those little weird safety quirky things that I think about.
No, I absolutely agree with you on that too.
And this has all been for sort of the guest traveling wise.
Yep.
If you're traveling also, don't just mail the gift or bring a card with cash and check in it or a gift card or something. Don't try to bring this big box on an airplane. You should really make your travel as easy as possible. Less stops, less interactions. Obviously wash your hands, all these types of things. And that way, when you're getting to the event, you can just let loose and have fun.
And also weather. Watch the weather as well.
You can't control it.
No, especially here in the New England states. Snow is...
And then it's sunny the next day, and then it's ice. So,
exactly. So make sure you prepare for that. If you have to leave from the hotel to the
venue.
ceremony site or the venue, leave enough time in between.
And sometimes it's good. This is a really good place to already have Uber or Lyft onto your phone. Don't download it when you get to the hotel.
No.
Have it already figured out so you know what you're doing. But using somebody who knows the area can sometimes save you so much time, especially because if there's snowstorms and things like that, there can be parking bans that are coming. And if you're not from this area, you may not know, and your car or your rental car will be snowed in or towed away.
I will tell you a little tip on the Uber. Go very careful as far as opening up the Uber at the airport. When I was in Charlotte earlier this year, it was Tennessee, for a friend's wedding, we wanted to get an Uber from the airport to the hotel. And we got off the plane and we tried to log into Uber. And because there were so many people getting off at the flights at that time, we couldn't even get on.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of plan ahead of time and, open it up as you're on the landing.
And the landing.
Or something.
As your seatbelt is still on because the light is still on.
Yeah, be prepared.
Be prepared.
Little things like that can make your trip that more undesirable.
Yeah, but this is, once again, I feel like if you're going to a wedding out of state, having that Uber saves you. You don't have to figure out where to park.
Nope.
You can just leave your car in your hotel parking lot area safe and sound.
Yep.
Like I said, you don't have to worry as much about weather.
Yep.
And once again, this is where you're talking about comfortable shoes. You might not want to walk in stilettos through snow and slush. Just saying.
Just saying.
Just an idea.
Any more words for the guests?
I think just go and have fun.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, we really should just be having fun.
Yeah, I mean, once you get to the reception, obviously the typical things that we say to any other guest, don't move seats around.
Oh, I have one last thing before we go to commercial.
Don't be drunk.
Oh, okay, that wasn't it. But please, 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 if they have a coat check, please check your coat.
Yeah,
there is nothing worse than heavy winter coats on the back of very beautiful chairs that somebody might have spent time decorating, even if they put chair covers on it, and you know how I feel about them.
Yep.
But please use the coat check. They're there for a reason. They are not going through your pockets. They do not give a shit. Just use the coat check.
Good point, Kia. But first, before we go to a commercial, we want to remind you about the official new bride name change kit. It is a complete name change kit for new brides and same-sex couples, containing instructions, checklists, all government forms for you, plus labels for your envelopes, and it's customized to your state and local jurisdiction. That's fantastic. Everything you need, just open the pretty pink box and get ready to go from Miss to Mrs., or as Miss Kia says, from Mr. to Mr. without any hassle. The official new bride name change kit. Use the Be Engaged and Inspired Wedding Podcast link in the show notes of this show, or visit atmosphere-productions.com, select the podcast link, and click on the namechangekit.com banner. Clicking the link doesn't cost you a penny, but your purchase will help compensate us and keep this podcast alive.
Each week, the Be Engaged and Inspired Wedding Podcast posts a new episode sharing wedding tips, knowledge, and speaking with wedding experts, all as a chance to help you navigate your way through planning your own wedding. Have a topic you want us to cover? Want to send us a message? Email us at engagedct@gmail.com, go to the Be Engaged and Inspired Wedding Podcast Facebook group page, or on anchor.fm and select message. Your message will be recorded and may be aired on a future episode.
Be Engaged and Inspired. We'll be right back.
Let Here to the Moon Travel be your go-to specialist to avoid the headaches and stress of planning your trip. Hi, this is Michelle from Here to the Moon Travel. You can find us at heretothemoontravel.com. Travel and customer service is my passion, and having a one-on-one relationship is something that a virtual site really cannot provide. We are your personal booking resource for all your travel needs. We can assist with anything from your honeymoon, destination wedding, luxury travel, group, family, or corporate travel, and so much more. heretothemoontravel.com.
Engaged CT offers couples the opportunity to work with experienced wedding planners, one-of-a-kind wedding venues, along with design and wedding rentals. We plan real weddings for real couples. Located in West Hartford, serving all New England, look us up on Facebook and Instagram under Engaged CT and www.engagedct.com.
This is Christina Wesley from La Femme Boudoir Photography, lfboudoir.com. Boudoir photography that is bold and soft, exciting and subtle, adventurous adventurous, and modest. lfboudoir.com. We can customize and make your boudoir portrait experience unique and true to you. Call me, Christina Wesley, from La Femme Boudoir Photography, 860-251-9010, or visit my website, lfboudoir.com. That's lfboudoir.com.
Hey Sam, when it comes to finding the right professional vendor, it can seem overwhelming to know where to start.
It can, Kia, unless you use easyeventplanning.com, because they'll find perfect vendors for your event within your budget and deliver them right to your inbox. You can search through over 28 categories of party and wedding services. Get the details you need to narrow down your choices quickly with their category-specific profiles. Chat with vendors via text, audio, or video from any device.
easyeventplanning.com will make planning your wedding or event easy, from their extensive vendor directory to their free tips on favors, decorations, themes, and more. Contact them today at easyeventplanning.com.
Atmosphere Productions, professional disc jockeys,
live musicians, custom lighting and photo booth.
When your wedding entertainment has to have the amazing music be fun, organized, and unforgettable, your choice has to be Atmosphere Productions. Experience the difference. www.atmosphere-productions.com. That's www.atmosphere-productions.com.
DJs, live musicians, custom lighting and photo booth.
Atmosphere Productions, professional disc jockeys.
Happy holidays to you and yours.
It's been another year where we've been sort of getting through this COVID side effects from the wedding industry, which got hit so hard.
And the Be Engaged and Inspired Wedding Podcast has been there guiding you through those changes.
This holiday season, we'd like to say thank you to our listeners who continue to support our little tiny podcast.
We'd also like to thank our sponsors for continuing to be a foundation to what we do each and every week. Here's Ruby to remind you who they are.
Thanks to our sponsors, easyeventplanning.com, Meadowbrook Estate, Emerge Cosmetics, Here to the Moon Travel, Destination Weddings Unlimited, Dollar Tree, Honey Fund, and the official new bride name change kit.
Now remember, no matter how you celebrate this holiday season, we offer peace, joy, and our best wishes.
We want it to be filled with good health, happiness, and spectacular success. Make sure you listen in the new year and tell an engaged friend or somebody planning an event, because we have awesome new episodes, new features, and special guests, all right here
on the Be Engaged and Inspired Wedding Podcast. Happy holidays.
Emerge Cosmetics. Are you ready to emerge?
I bought this lipstick after my wedding trial with Lauren and instantly fell in love with it. It is smooth and creamy and the color is beautiful.
This is Lauren Simpson from Emerge Cosmetics, a professional makeup artist with over a decade of experience in the beauty industry. That's the reaction we're getting from our new line of carefully curated lip products that wear well and feel comfortable. These are a must-have for your collection. All products are made in the USA, cruelty-free, gluten-free, and most are vegan. Shop emergecosmetics.com for lipsticks and lip glosses that not only feel great, but last for hours in an array of different colors. Free shipping on orders over $100. Use the Be Engaged and Inspired Wedding Podcast coupon code EBI10 at shopemergecosmetics.com for an instant 10% discount. That's coupon code EBI10 for 10% discount at shopemergecosmetics.com. Emerge as the true you.
Honey Fund, the world's #1 wedding registry. Honey Fund helps real couples realize their wedding and honeymoon dreams. Honey Fund's #1 online wedding gift registry makes it easy to give and receive the perfect wedding gift, one that reflects the couple's unique style and makes giving fun for the wedding guest. As the world's most popular crowdfunding site for weddings, honeymoons, and more, Honey Fund has helped hundreds of thousands of couples make their wedding dreams come true with an easy-to-use funding platform. Honey Fund, a gift card wedding registry that's as flexible as cash. Use the Be Engaged and Inspired Wedding Podcast link in the show notes or visit atmosphere-productions.com. Select the podcast link and click on the Honey Fund banner. That's atmosphere-productions.com. Select the podcast link and click on the Honey Fund banner.
Meadowbrook Estates and Mansion is located in Marlborough, Connecticut, perfectly situated between New York City and Boston. Our one-of-a-kind 10,500 square foot venue offers lodging for up to 30 guests and a stunning ballroom for intimate weddings. Looking to host a larger event? We have a gorgeous outside setting right next to our heated pool and small rambling brook. Contact us at Engage Connecticut for more details.
This is a message from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Travel increases your chance of getting and spreading COVID-19. Take steps to protect yourself and others. Wear a mask that completely covers your nose and mouth. Masks are required on planes, buses, trains, and other forms of public transportation traveling into within or outside of the U.S., and in U.S. transportation hubs such as airports and stations. Stay at least 6 feet away from others. Wash your hands often, and watch for symptoms of COVID-19. When traveling back to the U.S., you must show a negative COVID-19 test result or have documentation of recovery from COVID-19 before boarding your flight back to the U.S. Visit cdc.gov/COVID-19 travel to learn more about travel requirements and recommendations.
On next week's episode of the Be Engaged and Inspired Wedding Podcast,
we're going to be discussing the difference between traditional receptions and cocktail receptions.
we're going to have a lot to discuss, so join us next week right here on the Be Engaged and Inspired Wedding Podcast.
Now, back to Be Engaged and Inspired podcast, sponsored by EasyEventPlanning.com, who make planning any event fast and easy. EasyEventPlanning.com. And now your hosts, Kia and DJ Sam.
Welcome back to Be Engaged and Inspired the Wedding Podcast. We are discussing holiday weddings.
We're updating. Basically, we've had this segment before, and then we had COVID. We didn't personally have COVID. We just, COVID happened.
Yes.
And then some of these things have changed. And from last year, where there were still mandates in order because we went really far backwards, this year, everything has sort of been moving pretty well and moving slowly forward.
Yes. Thank goodness.
And so we were just discussing what as a guest to a holiday wedding, you should be thinking about. Now, if you are our beautiful couple, our brides, our brides and grooms, or grooms and grooms, or whatever.
Or whatever the host is.
Yes. Here's the things that you have to realize. You, 1A, cannot control the weather.
Yeah.
We can't control the weather either.
We wish we could.
And spending the entire week every 10 minutes looking at the 5-day forecast or the 10-day forecast or whatever, you will drive yourself nuts and everyone around you.
Speaking of that, back in the in the fall, I did a wedding where the couple, I think it was like 10 days before the wedding, changed the location of the reception because the field that they were going to have this big marquee tent put up flooded. Can you imagine that? Just before the wedding.
Why are you laughing at somebody else's horrible?
I love the misfortune of other people.
I guess so. But like I had a wedding in the fall too that was supposed to be beautiful. They were getting married outside. Then turned out that their venue would not put up a tent when a hurricane was coming. And they had to move it. So winter storms are the same things. Blizzard happen, things like this happen. If it's really looking like the weather is not going to cooperate. And New England is funny. We've had storms that they've predicted and nothing happened. And we've had storms that were not predicted and there's 2 feet of snow and you've lost your dog in the snow.
Yeah.
So one of the first things to do is talk to your hotel, especially if you're getting married at a hotel with a ballroom. Mm-hmm. See if people can come in, if they can have early check-in because you're expecting a storm. Realize that they may not have any additional rooms. Find out if they have additional rooms. Yeah. As the host, it's a nice thing to say to somebody, like, hey, we hope you could come in. There are some additional rooms. Just come in a few days early and stay.
Yep.
The other thing is you have to have the conversation about postponing or getting through it.
You have to.
And the same thing goes, you have to have this conversation with vendors. So I have a weather clause in my contract. So if the state shuts down the roads, I legally cannot be on the roads. While your wedding is great, but we are not essential. And that's one of those important things to realize. So if it is a winter wedding and you are expecting everybody to be somewhere and we know that a blizzard is coming, in my contract, it states you have to put us up as close to the facility as possible.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
I've had weddings in West Hartford where I've told all of my staff, just bring your clothing, what you need, bring your air mattresses, and we've stayed in our warehouse. Not a big deal. We've had a big, huge sleepover. Not that anybody slept, because Heidi used to bring this stupid sound machine, and she would put on this water running sound, so I was just constantly having to go pee.
Oh, we still love you, Heidi.
There's a random parrot. Like, who puts that into a sleep sound thing? But anyways, one of the things to say is, okay, what are my possibilities? And especially with like hair and makeup teams, because they have lots and lots of weddings, they might not be able to send people out that morning. It might be too dangerous.
Yes.
So you have to talk to wherever you're getting married. Can we have early deliveries of things? Can our cake come the day before?
Right.
I hate to inform you, but most people's cakes are done the day before. So their finishing touches are done the day of. But
so the first thing you need to call is the venue and find out, are we going to have the event? Do you have a backup generator? And if we aren't going to have the event, what are your backup dates that you have so that we can rebook? You need to, I know you don't want to do this, but you might have to postpone.
True. And if you don't have to postpone, you're right. Do you have a backup generator? What's your plan? You may have less people, but it doesn't change the fact that you had to pay for all of the people. You can't be mad at somebody who doesn't want to drive through an ice storm.
No, you can't.
You can't. Obviously, you would like them to be there, but if they can't, they can't.
Yep.
Those are those important questions. And actually, these are questions as you're booking your holiday for all of you 2022s and 2023s. Ask those questions. What do we do if there is, a hurricane, a blizzard, an ice storm, just a basic snowstorm?
Yeah.
Do you have a plow company that are we first on the list? Are we last on the list?
Yes. Yeah.
Because some places they're the last on the list because they're like, oh, you're only really open 2 days a week. What do we care?
Exactly. And when you need it plowed on a Saturday afternoon at 2:00, they're not thinking of you because they think, they're closed.
They're closed. Yeah. So these are things that you have to have this conversation before. And ideally, you should have some sort of written, not necessarily into a contract because weather is so unpredictable and you don't have a lot of control over it, but you should have some sort of written email interaction that you've kept. That says these are our plans of attacks and this is how we sort of go through the week. And you can refer back to it instead of constantly panicking.
Right. Now, your other vendors as well should also be contacting DJ, photographer, video, and
cake, flowers.
And find out whether, their contract says that they have to be there or they're going to postpone to a new date. They're all able to postpone, then that's great. Everybody's happy and we move to the new date.
Because sometimes you don't have availability.
Right.
And here's the other thing when it comes to flowers. If there's a storm, so it's not like a storm just ends up in New England.
Yeah.
And nothing else happened the week prior.
It starts somewhere.
So depending on where flowers are coming or supplies or other things, there may be delays weeks ahead of the time as you're watching the storm approach.
Yes.
So just keep it in mind. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't do holiday weddings. I think holiday weddings are great. A lot of venues give discounts because it's not prime season.
Right. That's what I was going to say. There's a good point of this.
Yes.
And let's discuss some of the good points of having
discounts.
It's all about the money.
It's not all about the money. I think also sometimes it's what is off season to somebody else may not be off season to you. Maybe your family is, a person who likes the snow and, might go to a ski resort and things like that. It might be exciting. Or it's great because you're bringing family in and then you're going to celebrate a different holiday that's about to happen. So
right. I love holiday weddings. I love them because they're so festive. You can do different things that you wouldn't normally do the rest of the year. And I'll put my hand up and say I'll give a discount if you do a Wednesday or a Thursday holiday wedding. Definitely.
Well, the other thing is that your venue tends to come a little pre-decorated for you too.
Yes.
There's little sprinkly little lights everywhere, and even if Christmas isn't your big thing or you celebrate different things, a lot of venues are pretty good about being neutrally and just sparkly like.
They are.
Yeah, and I think it can add a lot, especially depending on the location that you're at. If you have a big huge ballroom that you were sort of struggling to figure out is it in our budget to really go over the top? Well, maybe they'll go over the top for you.
It is, but you have to ask these questions up front because many of these venues decorate in, November?
Yep.
October sometime, and the decoration is already there. But you wouldn't know that if you'd booked a year in advance and you'd seen a plain old building, and then suddenly you walk in there and it's all decorated for Christmas.
Well, the one thing you have to ask too is what's their color scheme?
Yeah.
Because it's no longer just red
and green.
No. Absolutely not. I don't think I've had a red and green Christmas ever, but that's just because my family's weird. But you're not guaranteed a standard Christmas decor or holiday decor, so you should ask that question.
Yep.
What are your plans for 2022? How will you be decorating?
Exactly. And also your music as well. Are you into Christmas? Do you celebrate Christmas? Do you not celebrate Christmas? Do you want your DJ to play holiday music? Do you want him to play Christmas music? Do you want him to play no holiday music at all?
Pretending that there's not a holiday, I find a little weird.
I have done that before where the couple has said to me, we don't want any holiday music at all, just play as if it was a wedding in July.
But the other thing is then you have to talk to your venue because most venues have music pumping in, and their music that's pumping in is a little holiday-ish as your guests are arriving before you take over.
That's not my department.
I understand, but this is the department of you asking these questions and knowing beforehand.
Exactly.
And this is the thing, is if you're looking at an off-season, technically holiday time, realize that some things will be more expensive. Air travel will be more expensive for your guests, but you will also be saving money at your location. You will also be saving money technically on flowers and some of those things because that push isn't as strong, but you also might be limited on what you can have.
Now, let's put a couple of caveats in there. Another good time to have a holiday wedding is actually the week in between Christmas and New Year. Excellent time. A lot of people are available, and obviously they're on vacation, but we're still busy. We're still available.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't expect to do a holiday wedding on New Year's Eve and get it at regular price.
No.
Because prices could literally double or triple. And especially for 22 and this year, we're in
2021. I know it's a little hard to know anymore.
I forgot what I was.
Sign.
With 21 and 22 and 23, they're estimating that a lot of people are going to want to do those New Year's Eve weddings. They're going to be expensive, so be prepared for that.
The reason they're expensive
go on.
is because most venues typically sell those days out as something that they're hosting. So what you're now asking them to do is take out their guaranteed revenue.
The plus side of that is the week after January 1st is a great week to have a holiday wedding. It's still the holidays technically, and I have done several weddings, on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th of January, and they still have the holiday theme. Everything's still up. Remember, people don't take things down the 3rd day of January.
Like as soon as you wake up that morning, you're just you're trying to pull it down as you're trying to make everybody be quiet.
Right. So if you're on a budget and you want to think of doing a holiday wedding and you want to do it at that time of the year, first week of January.
Yeah, no, and also a lot of your family and friends can extend their holidays.
Yes.
And they could be there. And they'll be, and plus they won't be traveling when everybody else is traveling.
Good point.
Just that. Okay.
Anything else?
Nope.
You can't think of anything else?
Nope.
Wow, I think I have run her mind out today. That's great.
I think this season has run my mind out completely. But anyways, please remember that you can download us for free wherever you get your favorite podcast. And if you subscribe, you get it first, and that's really key. And here's Ruby to discuss our sponsors.
Thanks to our sponsors, EasyEventPlanning.com, Meadowbrook Estate, Emerge Cosmetics, Here to the Moon Travel, Destination Weddings Unlimited, Dollar Tree, Honey Fund, and the official new bride name change kit.
And finally, our departing tip is use the Be Engaged and Inspired Wedding Podcast coupon code EBI10 at shopemergecosmetics.com. And make sure you tell Lauren that we sent you, because you get an instant 10% discount. That's coupon code EBI10 for 10% discount at shopemergecosmetics.com. Emerge as the true you. They are a local Connecticut company, and we encourage you to shop locally. Clicking the link doesn't cost you anything, but your purchase will help compensate us and keep this podcast alive.
See you next week, Sam.
It's going to be as simple as goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you next week.
Be Engaged and Inspired podcast is sponsored by EasyEventPlanning.com, who make planning any event fast and easy. EasyEventPlanning.com. Produced and copyrighted by Atmosphere Productions in association with Engage Connecticut.